how to manage your day for success. Let me ask you something important. Why do some people seem to move forward every single day, while others stay busy but go nowhere? It's not talent, it's not luck, and it's definitely not motivation. It's how they manage their day. Because here's the truth most people avoid. Your life is nothing more than a collection of your days. And if you're losing the day, you're losing the future. Your day is not found, it's designed. That single idea changes everything once you really sit with it. Most people wake up each morning believing the day will simply happen to them. They move from alarm to obligation, from message to meeting, from task to task, hoping somehow it all adds up to progress. But hoping is not a strategy. If you don't make conscious decisions about how your day will run, the world will happily make those decisions for you. Emails, notifications, other people's priorities, random problems, all of them compete for your attention the moment you open your eyes. And without a plan, they win every time. Designing your day means taking ownership before the chaos begins. It means deciding what deserves your focus and what doesn't. It means understanding that attention is your most valuable resource, and once it's spent, you don't get it back. When you fail to design your day, you end up living in reaction mode, constantly responding instead of creating. You feel busy, exhausted, and strangely unfulfilled because your energy is being invested in things that don't actually move your life forward. The truth is, successful people don't have easier days. They have intentional ones. They don't wait to see how the day unfolds. They decide how it should unfold and then execute. They choose when to work deeply, when to disconnect, and when to rest. That level of control doesn't come from motivation, it comes from preparation. When you design your day in advance, you eliminate thousands of tiny decisions that drain your mental energy, you remove friction, you create momentum. Designing your day also forces you to confront what really matters. You can't design everything, so you must choose, and choice brings clarity. You start asking better questions. What actually deserves my best hours? What can wait? What is noise pretending to be urgency? Once those questions are answered, distractions lose their power. You stop confusing movement with progress and effort with impact. When you design your day, you stop outsourcing your life. You stop letting circumstances dictate your focus. You move from drifting to directing, from reacting to leading, from surviving the day to using it deliberately. And that shift, repeated day after day, quietly builds discipline, confidence, and control over your future. Most people obsess over managing hours, counting minutes, and trying to squeeze every second out of the day. They think time is the limiting factor. But here's the thing, time is a constant. Everyone has the same 24 hours. What separates those who succeed from those who merely survive is energy. Energy is what drives focus, creativity, and execution. You can have an empty calendar and still feel drained, accomplishing almost nothing. Conversely, you can have a full schedule and feel unstoppable if your energy is high and directed toward what matters. Energy management starts with self-awareness. Know your natural rhythms, when your mind is sharpest, when your body feels strongest, and when your focus is at its peak. Align your most important, high-impact tasks with those periods. Don't force yourself to push through difficult work. When your brain is tired, you'll just burn calories without progress. Protecting energy also means protecting your environment, your surroundings, the people you interact with, and even what you consume mentally and physically all affect your capacity to perform. Noise, negativity, and unnecessary inputs act like leaks in a bucket. They drain your energy without producing results. Another crucial part is learning to say no. Every yes consumes energy. Every distraction costs focus. Every unplanned task chips away at your reservoir. Successful people understand that they cannot do everything, and they ruthlessly protect their energy for what truly matters. They build rituals around energy, not just time morning routines that prime focus, blocks of uninterrupted work, deliberate rest periods, and intentional breaks for reflection and recharge. Energy beats time because progress is not about hours logged, it's about the quality of effort. 1 hour of fully engaged, energized work can outperform 8 hours of distracted, tired effort. Your day isn't a measure of minutes, it's a reflection of the energy you bring to the moments that matter. The more you design your day to harness your energy, the less you rely on luck, motivation, or sheer willpower. Energy becomes your currency, your secret weapon, and the foundation for achieving more in the same 24 hours than most people accomplish in twice the time. Small disciplines compound into massive success. Success doesn't usually explode overnight. It doesn't come from one grand gesture or a single heroic effort. It comes from the accumulation of small, consistent actions repeated day after day, week after week, year after year. These seemingly insignificant disciplines, making your bed, setting priorities, focusing for an uninterrupted hour, reflecting at night, build invisible momentum. Momentum that compounds quietly, often unnoticed, until one day the results are undeniable. People underestimate the power of these micro decisions because they are invisible in the moment. But the truth is, your daily habits are the engine of your future. Every choice you make is either a step forward or a step backward. Skipping one workout, sending one email late, choosing distraction over focus, each small decision has a ripple effect. Conversely, showing up consistently, even imperfectly, builds a foundation stronger than any shortcut could provide. Disciplines don't need to be dramatic. They don't need to feel inspiring. They just need to be consistent. The magic isn't in intensity. It's in the quiet accumulation of small wins. Discipline compounds not only in results, but in identity. When you consistently make deliberate choices, your mind rewires itself. You start seeing yourself as the kind of person who takes action, who honors commitments, who follows through. Identity and behavior feed each other. When your actions match your goals daily, you stop relying on motivation, which is fleeting. You create a system that carries you forward regardless of how you feel. This is why some people look ordinary but achieve extraordinary results. They have mastered the art of consistent micro actions. They understand that greatness is not a sudden gift. It is the product of intentional daily habits executed relentlessly. Every small discipline you practice compounds into bigger wins, and over time, the results aren't just noticeable, they are transformative, creating a life that looks impossible from the outside, yet is built entirely on simple daily choices. How you start your morning determines the trajectory of your entire day. Most people roll out of bed, scroll their phones, grab whatever caffeine is nearby, and stumble into the chaos of the day. And then they wonder why they feel behind before lunch. Momentum is built early. The first hour after you wake up is the foundation of every success, every decision, and every outcome. If you can take control of that time, the rest of your day falls into place almost automatically. Winning your morning doesn't mean filling it with endless tasks or forcing productivity. It means designing intentional routines that prime your energy, your focus, and your mindset. It could be exercise that wakes up your body, journaling that clarifies your priorities, meditation that centers your mind, or simply deciding the one thing that must happen today before the world's noise hits. This is how leaders, creators, and top performers operate. They build momentum early, and the day bends to that momentum. When you own the morning, you remove reaction from the equation. You don't wait for inspiration, you create it. You don't respond to distractions, you direct your energy to what matters. The difference between people who feel accomplished at the end of the day and people who feel drained is almost always what they did in the first 2 hours after waking. These hours are a multiplier. A strong morning ritual compounds throughout the day, giving you clarity in decision, making resilience against stress, and the ability to execute with focus when it matters most. But it's not just about routines, it's about mindset. Winning the morning requires self-discipline and a refusal to surrender to default behaviors. It's a daily practice of saying, I decide how this day goes, not circumstances, not distractions, not anyone else. And as you practice this, mornings become a launch pad. They set the tone for productivity, energy, and focus. The momentum you generate early carries you past obstacles, through fatigue, and toward outcomes that would have seemed impossible if you had started the day reacting instead of leading, putting it all together. Your day is not found, it's designed. If you don't decide how your day goes, someone else will. Your energy determines how effectively you use the hours you have, and small, consistent disciplines compound into massive results over time. And when you take control of your morning, you take control of everything that follows. This is not theory, it's practice. Every successful person in every field operates on this principle: intention, energy, discipline, and momentum. These aren't optional. They are the difference between a day that slips away and a day that moves your life forward. Small disciplines compound into massive success. Success is rarely explosive. It doesn't arrive in a single grand gesture, in one lightning bolt of inspiration, or a miracle moment when everything suddenly clicks. Real success is quiet. It is the invisible accumulation of small, intentional actions repeated daily, relentlessly over months and years. making your bed every morning, committing to focused work for 1 uninterrupted hour, reflecting at night on what went well and what can improve. These may seem trivial in isolation, but they quietly reshape your life. What looks like a small choice today, saying yes to discipline and no to distraction, is the same choice that compounds into extraordinary results over time. Every action matters. Every decision carries weight. Choosing to do what's necessary instead of what's convenient, even when no one is watching, builds the foundation for achievements that feel impossible to those who only chase shortcuts. These micro decisions create momentum, and momentum is what turns ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. You don't need to feel motivated. You don't need inspiration. You need consistency, repeated action, and the patience to let compounding do its work. Small disciplines don't just produce external results, they shape identity. Each time you act in alignment with your goals, you reinforce a version of yourself who takes action, follows through, and honors commitments. Identity and action feed each other. Once your habits solidify, success becomes predictable because your life begins to reflect the person you consistently choose to be. Excellence is not dramatic. It is invisible, steady, and relentless. What seems insignificant today will define your future tomorrow. End of day reflection and momentum. Managing your day isn't just about starting it right. It's about finishing it consciously. Most people end the day exhausted, moving from one task to the next without pausing to learn or adjust. Reflection is a small but powerful discipline. Take even 5 minutes each evening to ask, what worked? What didn't? Where did I waste energy? Where did I make progress? These questions create feedback loops that turn experience into knowledge and knowledge into action. Reflection also helps you reclaim control. Without it, mistakes repeat, wins go unnoticed. Energy is squandered on the wrong priorities. But when you reflect intentionally, you close the day with clarity and prepare for the next one with purpose. This is how momentum compounds. Each day feeds the next. Each small improvement accumulates until change that seemed impossible becomes inevitable. When you combine intention, energy management, small disciplined actions, and reflection, your days stop being chaotic and start becoming engines of progress. You are no longer drifting. You are leading. You are creating momentum that carries you forward, even when challenges appear, even when motivation fades. Every day becomes another building block, another layer of compound growth, another opportunity to step closer to the life you actually want.